Cloudy.
Okay. Primal Fear was the movie that I picked. Did you guys see it? Did everyone see it, the film?
Yep.
And had you seen it before?
I had
Oh,
not.
you had seen it before.
Yeah, I've seen
Everybody?
it before.
Yeah, I didn't see it this week, but I've seen it before.
Oh, all right. That's interesting because the women had not seen it before and all the men had seen it. Interesting. Okay. All right. I'm just going through Wikipedia here. It's Primal Fear is a 1996 American legal mystery crime thriller directed by Gregory Hoblit, based on the 1993 novel by the same name by William Diehl. It starred Richard Gere, Laura Linney, John Mahoney, Alfre Woodard, Frances McDormand, and Edward Norton. The film follows a Chicago-based defense attorney who believes that his client, an altar boy, is not guilty of murdering a Catholic bishop. It was, we all know what the plot is, so I won't go into that. The thing that I liked most about it, of course, I'm from Chicago, so it's not only nostalgic for me, but the acting, in my opinion, is phenomenal. And it's not, Ed Norton, of course, you know, is amazing, but I thought the acting was Richard Gere, Laura Linney, John Mahoney, and Ed Norton, of course, was just phenomenal. And I think they just had such nuanced performances that I just really, really enjoyed it. I was going to tell you something else. Oh, see now, Karen and I are somewhat, I went into, I thought, and I might be wrong about this, Karen, because you heard it one way. I heard dissociative identity disorder was what supposedly
Molly, yeah.
Sampler had. And I thought that's what she called it. And you're saying that they said multiple personality disorder, and maybe she did. I thought she said dissociative, because that's when I looked at, because I thought this, I remember thinking, well, now that I say it out loud, I think you're right, because I looked it up because I wondered to myself, do they still call it multiple personality? And I looked up the Cleveland Clinic and I looked up Mayo, and they went into what DID, or dissociative identity disorder, is. So anyway, I enjoyed it for so many reasons, but I think what I really wanted to talk about, and what I want you guys to tell me, is what you thought of the acting and the arc of the characters. So I'll throw it out to you guys.
Well, I am going to disagree with Wikipedia on one thing. I don't think it is, I would not call it a courtroom or a crime. I think it is a psychological drama that is just cloaked in the courtroom piece. I really do. Because they sort of take both the psychological idea of motivation and the legal idea of motive, and they just really, you know, mix those together in a fascinating way. I didn't expect to like this movie as much as I did, but it really just reeled me in for that reason.
Yeah.
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 And you hadn't seen it before.
I had not, and I couldn't believe there was a Richard Gere movie out there that I'd never seen. How did that happen? But anyway, yeah.
I liked it because Richard Gere and I have the same birthday. Not the same year, but the same August 31st. Yeah. Yeah, really.
31st of what?
August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Virgo.
So anyway, we're friends.
Good.
Just messing with you, but I enjoyed his acting and Edward Norton's very, very much. Laura Linney, to me, I just don't care for that woman. And she just acted so subdued and so flat in this. I saw no arc to her character at all. She was just boring as hell.
Huh.
If I can just be frank, I did not like her performance.
And she could non-smoke a cigarette like nobody's business.
Yeah, that was seemed to be her claim to fame. Nothing else was, other than a bunch of different men telling her what to do all the time, and I just didn't care for her part. But Edward Norton, oh my gosh.
You know, that was his debut.
Yeah.
Yes, I read that. And
Yeah.
what a fabulous one. And I went down through the list of awards that's on Wikipedia, and he won, award after
Won
award.
or was nominated.
Just
for numerous.
Fabulous. Just
Yeah.
fabulous. And of course, you can't go wrong with Richard Gere. I
No.
don't care what he does.
DiCaprio said no to the part
Good.
Good.
of Stampler.
Because I don't like him either.
Yeah.
So-
So I thought he did a phenomenal job.
yeah.
So what'd you guys think?
I think the whole movie is about Edward Norton. I think his role as the defective false altar boy, he was convincing all the way through. I remember the first time I saw this movie, I was just simply blown away by the turn of events at the end of it. The picture that Jeff has got behind him there, I think, is from his reveal scene, and I'll call it a courtroom drama. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I thought Norton's role here was just phenomenal. I hadn't seen him in anything prior to that, and I just went wow. And then to learn that it was his debut role, I went, okay, if this guy can replicate this, he's going to have a fine career, and that's exactly what's happened. He's a really good actor. I like it a lot.
I agree. I mean, he's really good in it. It does make it difficult to see the second time because what's
Yeah.
how it's going to come out. So, but it's still well acted. I agree, and I don't exactly agree about the Laura Linney character. I thought she did what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to be kind of in line and on line, and
Yeah, I thought she did a good job because obviously they had a relationship before. And one of my favorite lines from her is when she said it was a one-night stand that lasted for 6 months.
6 months.
And that was a direct hit on his personality. Now he's arrogant and and he loves Gere, I'm talking about, of course. He loves the fame and he loves the money and he loves all that. But underneath it all, and he kept on saying he didn't care if people were guilty or not. And I said, oh no, he cares. There's that one part in when he gets drunk, he's talking to the reporter and he's drunk. And he says he did something, that's why he left the prosecutor's office. He did something really bad. We don't know exactly what he did. Probably had something to do with Shaughnessy and the Catholic Church. Maybe not, maybe it was something completely different. But in any event, he did something bad. And I think he said, I am not going to I'm not going to prosecute people that are innocent. Now, he never says that. It's just that when he gets drunk, he kind of says that. And at the end, when he is just lost and goes out the back door because he doesn't want all the stuff that he usually loves, all the fame and he goes out, kind of with his tail between his legs. So I think that he does a really nice, nuanced character. But I do believe that he believed that this kid was innocent and he was going to do whatever he had to do to make him to make sure that he got got off,
Do you think he thought he was innocent at first, or do you think he came to that?
Well, I think at first he thought he just wanted this because it's going to be a high profile case. So he just wants it. So that's why he jumps to get it. So at first he doesn't care. He says he doesn't care and all that stuff. But I think as he starts talking to him and he starts believing that he's innocent. And I think that's why he really is working hard to make sure that he gets off till the end, of course.
I think, or at least what I was imagining, he doesn't come right out and say it, but I think at first he took the case and he wanted to just to make sure the kid didn't get the death penalty. And so when he does that, there's that interview with Connerman where he's been drinking, and at the end he says, if you publish any of this, I'll sue you, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where they're talking about his motives. And when he said, when I was in the prosecutor's office, I did something really bad. My thought was somebody got the death penalty because of what, he was such a good prosecutor at that point. And that's what made him leave and become a defense attorney. But that was my thinking, but it's, it's never explicit.
Yeah, but you're right. He did something. Obviously, he did something that affected him so much that he said, I can't do this anymore. I got to leave. Yeah. And I think, go ahead.
I've got some experience with defense attorneys. I didn't do a lot of court reporting, but the little bit I did were pretty high profile cases. And defense attorneys sort of fall into two groups over the course of my career. One of them are the people that are in it because they want their client to have what they call in the field a vigorous defense, that they're going to get somebody there that is going to advocate their case, rather than a lot of defense lawyers that are in the business that are either lazy or not good at their jobs. The second, beyond that, there's one guy up here. His name is J.R. Hobbs, that here in Kansas City, that is an example of that. He will, if you can afford him, he will provide you a vigorous defense all the way through. The other group, and this isn't just defense attorneys, it's a lot of plaintiff lawyers as well. They're peacocks. They like the limelight. They like having the big case, and I think there's elements in Gere's character here of both those traits, that he believes in a vigorous defense, and he also likes the headlines because he knows a vigorous defense and a good performance by him, regardless of what the outcome of the verdict is, will be a rainmaker for him and his firm, and he'll be in line to take other high profile cases down the road. So Gere's character, I thought, portrayed both those elements of good big time defense attorneys. Many are in for a vigorous defense, and they're all peacocks.
Yeah.
Mahoney, did you see your doppelganger there at the very start of the movie when the press was gathered around?
No, I didn't.
Anybody else there? It'd be Karen and Jeff Copeland. But did you notice a young Mahoney?
I did. As soon as you said that, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not the only one. Yeah.
Really? What scene
the beginning? So just watch the beginning again. Yeah.
It's not long after the murder's discovered, and the press is outside the Catholic whatever.
Yeah, the mansion
where they found him, and one of the press guys. I looked at it, I said, "Oh my God!"
And the movie's from '96. It's like, Mike, Were you with
You- It was you.
It was
side
you.
work there.
I'm gonna I'm gonna have to go back and get Richard Gere's character and see.
Yeah, you are.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Marty Vale. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Richard Gere's firm, could you believe how young Andre Braugher was in this, Tommy? At first, I'm like, who is that guy? I kind of recognize him. Who is? So I went to IMDb and I'm like, oh my God, it's Andre Braugher.
All of them. Did you know this was Lester Holt?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw. I saw him in there.
Lester.
And there were several other really well-known Chicago reporters that
Yeah.
that were in there as
Linda
well.
Yu, Diane Burns, yeah. Yeah, and Lester worked for ABC first, and then he went over to NBC. So this was his NBC years. But no, what I know about Lester Moore is that his hairline, he had when I first met him, he had the lowest hairline. I mean, it came to the middle of his forehead, and it just kept going up and up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice guy, very nice. Jeff Copeland, did you hate?
I liked it. I had seen it before, and I was kind of like Mike said, it was sort of hard to watch it again, knowing I was about 10 minutes into it. I said, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I know where this is going."
That's what I did.
I did. I looked a little closer at the actors this time around, and I have to. I believe that Laura Linney did a good job of executing her role. I think she can be unpleasant to watch, and she was kind of a cold, nasty, bitter woman relative to Richard Gere, and so she carried that off pretty well. I can't separate her from Ozark completely.
Oh.
And in a way she plays a similar role there, but I thought she pulled it off pretty well. Richard Gere, I thought, was he did typify that kind of an attorney that is sort of stereotyped in cinema with defense attorneys. And I thought Ed Norton, I mean, I understand he did a great job on his part, but I think if that were your first role, what do you got to lose? I mean, you can throw the book at it and you can just overact and be kind of crazy. And I think that he was just kind of really worked hard to do the whole stuttering, and he did the crazy look and all that stuff. And I think he could kind of be over the top and not be in danger. And people, they responded well. He didn't stumble when he did that. So I thought that was a pretty good execution of his role as well. I couldn't help but recognize this whole thing in a series and another movie that's, I think Matthew McConaughey did The Lincoln Lawyer, and then there's a series that has followed that.
Yeah.
And it's a similar defense attorney who's a hot shot. He wants the limelight. He's got a little team, and he's had a couple of clients that have totally pulled the wool over his eyes. And he's like, I worked my butt off to get these people off, and I find out that they're heinous. They're awful people. I succeeded, but I could kick myself for falling under their spell during the thing. So it's and I think that there has been the same theme previously, but I just don't have the depth of experience with that to say what it was. But it's a good plot to reproduce, and you can mold it a lot of different ways. But I'd seen it before or seen it after in a different setting. So that was kind of interesting to me to make some comparisons there.
I thought some of it was like Vincent D'Onofrio in Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, interesting.
No,
he
explain that.
doesn't come to the crazy guy right away,
Oh.
but he gets there.
Yeah.
And again, to Laura Linney, I mean, no offense, Chris, but she's just portraying this whole line of carnage beside Richard Gere's character. I mean, she's just one of 30, 50, whatever, off to the side. And that's the role she's living, I think. I thought
I
she
thought-
pulled it.
Yeah, the Frances McDormand too did a
Oh,
nice
yeah.
job as
Yeah.
a psychologist, and she's kind of acting very clinical and trying to draw this guy out. And I think she was totally startled when he just converted in front of her.
Right.
It's like, oh, geez.
I had to
Is
get my
anybody
phone
watching
out and see
this?
if this was a Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
John Mahoney, who played Shaughnessy, he was the father in Frasier. I mean, that's where most people would know him from.
Mhm.
But he was also a Chicago actor, and he didn't start acting professionally until he was 49 years old. So it's kind of an interesting story because he was an insurance agent prior to that and always just kind of did community theater and then just decided to quit and go for it at 49. So I thought that was
How do people like that get into the Actors Guild?
all you have to do is you can do one movie, AFTRA or the screen SAG. You can do one movie, or it used to be that you could do one and you didn't have to, but if you did another one, you
had to join?
Yeah, you had to join.
It's
But
probably easier to join too after you had one.
yeah. Yeah. And then you also have, I mean, the Screen Actors Guild, you have to work at least you have to do at least 20 shows. I think it's 20 a year in order to keep, all your benefits and that kind of stuff. So you really have to work a lot in order to keep the benefits. But once you do have the benefits, they're pretty good. You can get benefits from SAG, you can get benefits from AFTRA. So people that are actors that have gone from film to TV can get, 2 and 3 different pensions. Because you don't make much if you're just, obviously not Gere and all those, but just any person off the street, they don't make much. But, at the end, if they keep working, they get a pretty good pension. So
Yeah,
I
So you
could
say
say
20
SAG and AFTRA have now combined.
Yeah.
And so like my main pension is SAG and AFTRA. At one point, early in my career when I joined AFTRA, they even picked up bills for your therapist if you were seeing a shrink. And
cool.
and I never took advantage of it. I didn't feel like I needed it, but I learned a lot of people in the business we're on a couch on a pretty regular basis.
Interesting.
Jeff Arthur, so quiet.
Yeah. Well, turns out I had seen it before and I forgot. I didn't realize I'd seen it before until he started acting all crazy. And then I went, oh yeah, I remember that. So
Hey,
Yeah,
awesome
this,
Halloween house, by the way.
what's
Pardon
that?
me?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome Halloween house.
Oh yeah, on the video. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's all my wife, but yeah. She's been doing it for years and years. But anyway, so I like this movie a lot. It's got a lot of stuff I like. It's got legal courtroom drama kind of things, and it's got mystery and murder, whodunit kind of deal, and so, and of course the acting you guys all mentioned is phenomenal. So it was, I don't know, I had no problem with, what's her name, Linney?
Laura
Laura
Linney.
Linney.
Here we go.
Laura.
Everybody
Linney.
attack me now.
Wasn't she in another?
Yeah.
Look whose picture you put
Title.
up.
What was the other movie we recently saw that she was in?
Oh my gosh, she's in so many.
Kinsey.
Oh,
Kinsey.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't like her in that either, as I recall.
So
No,
did
I
anybody else?
enjoyed it. It was I'd totally forgotten how it ended until it was almost over, even though I'd seen it before. So
Really?
it was
Huh.
a good little twist at the end.
Yeah, but the thing about it at the end, so you know, there is no Aaron. There, you know, there never was an Aaron.
Right.
But all of his identity, you know, all of like his like legal identity was Aaron. So it's like,
Stampler. Yeah.
yeah. So part of me was like, is this just still Roy, you know, being a manipulative ass? Does Aaron really still exist? He's just been, you know, sort of, you know, sublimated. So I don't know. It, you know, the psychologist in me really just kind of got off much more on the psychological part of this movie than the courtroom piece. Although
Yeah.
when it breaks and goes wild and jumps out of the, you know, the witness box
Yeah.
in the courtroom is an amazing scene.
Yeah, and it was like they were dancing, like you said. You could see that Gere is egging him on to, come on, Roy, come out, wherever you
Mhm.
are. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And that was a good scene. And it was true. It was, you know, one person is manipulating the other person, which is manipulating the other person. I mean, it's
Who's
all,
the puppet master? Yes.
yeah,
How many how
exactly.
many strings are there? Yeah.
exactly.
But
So
don't you
kinda
think
wondered-
the person's name was Aaron. It's just he made up this Roy character, and
But
but I
then-
mean his
But
personality.
in the
really
end, he
was
says there
Roy.
never was an Aaron. But yeah, I
Yeah.
guess maybe Aaron was the ugly guy.
Roy just took over.
yeah.
Yeah.
I always wondered if there wasn't maybe a third one or a fourth one.
Well, then now we're getting into Sybil
Cases of Eve. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the people.
or All About Eve, wasn't it all
Now,
about
Now,
Eve?
what
Yeah.
do those characters do about pronouns?
We,
Oh, my-
Well, if
us,
you're Roy, whatever the hell he wants. That's right.
I think it's probably a they, them thing.
Yeah.
There's so many of them.
That's funny. Yeah.
Do you think he really did have a multiple personality, or he was just acting the whole Aaron part? I
That's
mean, that's my.
yeah. That's the question.
I think it's
And-
multiple
I-
personalities and Roy just took over. Because
Although
See,
he could have been traumatized enough by his childhood experiences with the priest, with the bishop, that he carried that forever and said, I'm going to get back at this guy someday. And I figured out a way to do this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a very elaborate plot that he hatched and became this other person to hide that. I mean, if he really was logical and manipulative to that degree, he could have done that.
Yeah.
but like
so
Karen
that-
said, I mean, he had a persona that made it to court. I mean, he must have gotten fingerprinted. He had some ID.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I don't know if they,
background.
even if he's saying when Roy says there was no, what's his name? Adam?
Aaron.
Aaron. There was no Aaron. There's
There
only
never was an
Roy.
Aaron.
But I think what he meant, and I mean, I took it, is that, I mean, his name was Aaron and all that, but his real personality was Roy. It's just,
Identity.
he
Yeah.
was in Chicago for those 2 years. He was Aaron to everybody. At least
Yeah,
I was. He was Aaron until, you know, he could have the opportunity to let Roy, you know, let it rip, you know.
When you started to suspect that there was foul play from Bishop Rushman, did
Oh,
anybody
like from the
see it?
beginning. Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
anybody see it going the way it went?
Well, not
Yeah.
quite.
Between
that
altar
abuse.
boys and the
Yeah.
bishop, I thought, oh, this is
Yeah.
just going to be some.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got a little crazy there. But I always felt like whenever Roy came out, I felt like it was his father talking to him. You know, the way that he treated him and the things that he
yeah.
said to him. I don't know.
Yeah. Or he was just saying that stuff to get Richard Gere
Yeah.
to use that to make him come out when Richard wanted him to come out. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
there's all these layers, I think, and that's what makes the acting so good, I think, and
Mhm.
all of them, because there's so many nuances and layers of who's manipulating who's the real person, who's the, you know, all of that. So And that's why it's one of my favorites for this genre anyway, for this genre.
Just like,
I want
who won?
dr-
Roy
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Richard
that's the
Gere's
thing.
character or
Well, they said he was going to get out in just a few months or
Yeah.
something.
Right, that's-
Right,
yeah.
right. And I don't know what's the legal, yeah, there is no, I mean, once it's adjudicated, that's it.
Right, it's double jeopardy. You
Double
can't.
jeopardy, yeah.
Yeah, so, but, so if he's being, and I'm just throwing this out and asking this, and Karen, you might be able.
Although double jeopardy only applies to the murder of the bishop, he
Right.
also confessed to murdering the girl,
Yeah.
and
that's
double
right.
jeopardy would not apply there.
But he
Sure.
only told Richard Gere, who can't
Right.
say anything.
Who's-
Can't
yeah,
say
who's
anything.
ethically, yeah, not.
yeah,
But-
and
but-
he knew that.
Can
Yeah.
if the attorney knows, can he say anything to, while he is being, you know, he's talking to doctors after he gets, you know, before he gets out, Roy or Aaron is talking to doctors. Can that attorney say anything to the doctor? Or is it still just under attorney-client privilege and he can't say anything or?
I wouldn't think so.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure. I think when you're an officer of the court, there's probably an ethical responsibility there to, while not violating a attorney-client privilege, if you got knowledge of a felony, in particular a felony, I wouldn't be surprised to learn that there's you know, protocol inside of the legal profession that you've got to be, that you have an obligation to bring that forward.
But would the peacock let anyone know how he had been fooled by?
Well, there
Yeah.
you go. There
Yeah.
you go.
True, that's another, yeah, excellent. Would he just have to live with knowing? Oh, yeah. Interesting. Very, very
So-
interesting.
And thinking about writing this screenplay, would it be, once you had the idea, I mean, you could have a small core idea of this. Would it be that hard to flesh this out with use the courtroom as a place for exposition of what's going on there? That's a nice platform for that. And going back and forth, having different characters who are kind of in competition with each other, Laura Linney and Richard Gere kind of going back and forth, trying to beat each other out and just doing that stuff. I think it wouldn't have been too hard to write this, especially if somebody had a familiarity with psychology and legal stuff, to really do it pretty quickly. I wonder.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
know that William Diehl, who wrote the book, he wrote the book about 4 years before the movie came out. So I don't know. I don't know what that is, but he has written different mysteries about, I'd say maybe 20 or 25 different mysteries. And they're not all courtroom or this kind, this kind of thing, but I don't know. You're right. I'd like anything. It could be just a formula, and he just,
Yeah. Do you know anything about his background?
no, I really, I mean, I know that he's a mystery writer. That's all, but that's all I know.
I can
So-
see pretty easy a professional witness like a psychologist that's got a great deal of courtroom experience behind them, or a lawyer who's dabbled in this sort of stuff with psychologists and bring them in the courtroom. Either one of those two areas might fancy themselves an amateur in the other field, and could concoct a story like this.
Hmm.
And they wanted to write a treatment and get it to Hollywood. And
Yeah.
hey, Donna, did this win any awards?
Oh, tons.
Did anybody
Well,
in it?
Mostly, let me see.
Norton, mostly at Norton.
Mostly Ed Norton won awards.
For
I
the
think there
musical
were a
score?
few- there were a few others that were nominated for things, but mostly, let me see. Well, the writer was nominated for a number of things, but mostly Ed Norton is the one that, well, it was a breakout role. I mean, everyone that I knew at the time, I was just blown away at the end. It was like, oh my God. You know, and you almost, I mean, as soon as he said that he, you know, tell her that I'm sorry, I hurt her neck. As soon as he said that, I was like, oh my God. I remember just being blown away by that.
That's what I felt like. I could have, it was like
Yeah.
an NBA game. I could have just jumped to the last 2 minutes.
Oh, I don't know. But it was, I mean, it was good. I really I love being fooled. You know, if a director can fool me or an actor can fool me, it's one of my favorite things because it really, because I
Yeah.
really do try to either solve the mystery before it's, you know, before it's anyone else has, or, you know, I keep trying to look for clues or look for this. And that one had me completely, you know, baffled until the
You
end.
carried it off well. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah. Yes.
Did anyone else think when they heard the name Ed Norton, think of the Honeymooners?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, I know. I thought that's why he goes, it's Edward
Norton.
Norton, Edward Norton.
Not Jeff Arthur.
Hey, Norton. Yeah.
yeah.
I've heard of the honeymooners. Honeymoon, Alice.
To the moon.
To the
yeah.
moon, Alice.
When Norton would try to like sign something, all the gesturing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah, if he starts to play the piano or anything.
Jackie Gleason's character crazy.
It was, and they, you know, worked in the sewer. I mean, it's just.
Right, yeah.
Think about it. Oh, but,
In a vest.
oh God, we're showing our age, God forbid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a t-shirt and a vest.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
How long has Art Carney been dead? I mean, it's been like 30, 40 years probably.
No,
I don't
Not
think
that
so.
long?
No, because he did some acting work in the
Yeah, he did
90s,
some
I
movie
think.
about.
Well, of course,
about
it is
but
30 years, isn't it? Yeah.
with a cat or something. He had some
Yeah.
movie with a cat.
Yeah, there was something.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The cat lady says.
be quiet, Madison. The cat lady.
Just one cat. I don't think
That's
cat.
right.
That's right. One cat. is
Beautiful
not-
cat too.
Thank
Very
He
you.
died in 2003.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Well, yeah,
20
you're
years.
right.
20
20 years
years.
ago. You're right, Jeff. Yeah. When the late 1900s doesn't seem that far away, but I guess it is. So,
Talking about cats, I talked to a patient the other day. She said, well, I have 11 cats, but I'm also fostering about 15 more in her house.
oh
your check
my
up front.
God.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Harry and Tonto. Was,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Art Carney's cat movie,
yeah.
1974.
Jeez.
Oh, my God. That's as old as Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, that's
And
I don't
Young
know why that's-
Frankenstein.
Yeah,
Which
but
we
I think
can't
The
see.
Bride
Yeah.
has taken, that's got to be the oldest movie we've seen so far, right? Bride of Frankenstein.
we watched the Dictator, the Great Dictator,
Oh, you
which had to
did?
be
Oh, yeah,
similar
that's in the
age.
20s. Yeah, late
That's
20s.
from the 40s. Dictator was from the 40s. And that was
So it's a little
from-
afterwards.
From 1940.
Yeah, you'd have to
Oh,
see
yeah,
the
yeah.
general, I think, to be
The-
older.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
general
the
between- you're right.
Dictator made so much fun of Hitler.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's right. Wow.
And it was the second film to make fun of Hitler. The first one in American cinema to poke fun at him was made by the Three Stooges.
Mm.
Really?
Really? What was the name of that?
It hit theaters like maybe 3 or 4 months in front of The Great Dictator.
Well, there was
Or the-
always, my favorite was, what is the one, Springtime for Hitler? To Be or Not to Be, is that the name of it?
No, Producers.
The Producers, right, that's right. The Producers.
Yeah. Were the Three Stooges Jewish?
Yep,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
all four of
No
them.
wonder. Yeah.
yeah. Interesting. Well, I guess that's that for, does anybody have any,
Yeah, nice pick,
Recommendations?
Donna. That was good.
Yeah. Good
Oh,
pick. Good
Good.
pick.
good, glad you liked it, glad you liked it, and glad you liked it again.
Yeah,
You know, I have continued to see Disclaimer because it's an interesting story. I don't know if you guys have seen any
I
of it.
started it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh man, that second episode, that sex scene is
yeah,
pretty intense.
that's what I was like, whoa. But the story is real interesting.
oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the story.
Yeah.
That's what.
I
she's
just
about-
read it for
Yeah.
the articles.
Exactly. Yeah, beat me to that by 2 seconds, Jeff.
Yeah.
That's right.
But yeah, I'm in the third episode now and I finished that and I think it's got like 7 or 8 episodes, right?
Yeah, yes.
So I'm
it's
wondering
not-
where they're going with this, but it's
And
gonna be in,
it's not finished yet. You can't watch the
oh,
whole thing. It comes out every Sunday or Monday or something. So you'll
Okay.
see a bunch of them though. I mean, you'll see a lot.
What's it
Is that
on?
on
Yeah.
Netflix? Is that
Pardon me?
Netflix?
Apple.
Apple, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Apple.
Is anybody watching Shrinking on Apple?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's always good. I haven't seen it recently, but I saw the first, and that was good. That's real good.
And we're-
Most people really let their guard down to each other. It's pretty cool that way.
I love Derek. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Everybody wants a Derek.
Everybody wants a Derek. I want a Derek. Everybody does.
Yeah. He
Um,
gives them that look and tell it's gonna be okay, and they start to cry.
yeah.
It works. Always works.
What
And
else?
the guy that's connecting with the black woman now too that's a really nice dynamic going on
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
He's got
yeah.
a great sense of humor, and I hope that goes
Wayans,
someplace for her.
Damon Wayans, not Marlon. Damon Wayans Jr.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. He was in New Girl. Zoe Chanel and yeah, but
Hmm.
obviously much younger. But I like him as an actor, and he's
Yeah.
We were talking before everybody got on that Conclave at the theater is excellent.
Is it good? Now, yeah, I want to go see it.
Yeah, I want to see that this week if I can.
Very, very good. And then Tom Hanks' new movie Here is out now. And then,
It hasn't gotten good reviews.
Yeah,
and
it
he's-
got creamed.
oh, then go see it. That's just like the Joker one got terrible reviews, and I thought it was fabulous, and so did Barnhart. But
It's a negative barometer.
yeah, and then Wicked comes out on the
Yes.
22nd.
That'll be fun.
We had a discussion, was it last week or the week before, when the movie was shown on television.
You mean
So
The
what-
Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, when it first, and I said, well, it was around Thanksgiving. And then Mike Mahoney and Gary said, no, it was around Easter. Well, guess what? It was both.
Uh-huh, yeah.
So
Really?
neither one of us were crazy. But in 1959 to 62, it was Thanksgiving. And then after that, in 1963, for however much longer they televised it, they moved it to the Easter time. So
And they used to
Wow.
scare the hell out of me with those flying monkeys.
The flying monkeys. were
yeah. Oh, wait till
scary.
Wicked comes out. Yeah, see those monkeys. I've seen the previews.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be a fun
But
show.
that's I guess it's a musical anyway, isn't it? So.
It is a musical, yeah.
Oh, it was a musical in the first place.
Yeah, those were the guards. Yeah, they were mean.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but there's so much.
Oz had a whole bunch of music in it, you know?
Yeah.
mean, it's not a
Yeah.
musical, but
We're off to
No,
see the
that's
wizard.
what I mean.
was
I
a
think it was
miracle
essentially
that
a
happened
musical.
was just this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which
Follow
is
the
what
Yellow
Wicked
Brick
is.
Road.
Follow the Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah.
And of course, there was The Wiz, which is the musical version of the movie with, Michael Jackson and Diana Ross. That was another
Well,
good
what's
one.
for
saw
next
that.
week?
Whose turn
Who's
is it?
on? Who's
It's
on?
it's Mattson's turn.
Is it my turn?
Yep.
We'd been going backwards alphabetically, so I wasn't really sure.
Well, that's because Donna and Mike Mahoney swapped because he had an obligation.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do The Big Chill.
Oh, my favorites.
Kind of felt like that last week, so
Mhm.
Mm.
yeah.
I thought I'd give that a try.
Yeah. that's a
Okay.
good one.
I could almost recite that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so good. Gosh. Did you
Never
guys see
seen it.
Saturday Night Live with Kamala?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The cold open. Glad that she got on there. That was pretty funny. I wasn't expecting her.
Well, and then
Her-
Rashida's dad dies like a day
Yeah,
later, or
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Quincy Jones, yeah, he just died yesterday.
Mhm.
Wow.
91.
mm.
And he produced a lot of stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
some great stuff. As a matter of fact, I think isn't there a documentary on somewhere?
I think so.
on
Yeah.
Quincy. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
he's
Chapel
pretty
Roan
amazing.
was the musical guest. She's from Springfield.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Willard.
Yeah, yeah. That was
Wow.
my granddaughter's Halloween costume. She was dressed up in the all pink for the Pink Pony Club. She had
Yeah.
the microphone. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the Pink Pony
I don't know
Club.
that anybody saw the country stuff coming, but
Yeah, that was interesting. But the hair, everything looked kind of country, so
yeah, I mean, but that's
Yeah.
not her
yeah,
normal vibe.
yeah. Yeah, it was good.
Maybe she was appealing to the Trump voters.
I don't know.
Yeah, because there were so many in that audience.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sure we're all on. I'm having hopefully a celebration dinner on Wednesday. At least that's what I said. I'm hoping it'll be
Yeah.
a celebration dinner.
May have to schedule it about 2 weeks out.
I know.
Yeah.
I thought about that too. I'm hoping that we should know something though by the end of tomorrow, Wednesday. We should.
Who has early voted so far?
Oh, I have. I voted. Yeah.
So the
I
rest of
voted
us are going to
weeks-
go stand in
weeks
line
ago.
tomorrow.
You know, I don't think the
Really?
lines, I don't know what's going to be like in Springfield, but there was, I know that at least in some parts of St. Louis and here in Kansas City, there was a lot of early voting. It caught the Kansas City election officials by surprise.
Really?
Yeah, in
Yeah, my
Greene
off-
County, we only have 2 places to vote, and there's like an hour and a half. We went down this morning. One opened at 8, and we drove down to it, and the line was across the building, down the back, around the corner.
Oh my
at like 8:30.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
it's
that
been
way.
like an hour and a half every time you go up there.
It
The
was
other
that
the
way
off-
at the
library.
Stone Community Center as well. I went down there twice and it's like, no, I mean, blocks long. I figure that everybody's voted early. So when I go up to my little church tomorrow, where
Well, and that's the thing.
nobody will be there because they've already voted
Everybody's got to
early.
go to their precinct tomorrow.
Right.
Exactly, yes.
So,
St.
The,
Louis County
early
had where
voting-
you could like kind of click on an icon on their site, and they could tell you at each of the early voting locations how long of a wait there was. And
Mm.
I went on Thursday. It was a little over an hour, but it was gorgeous weather for one thing. And the line kept moving, but it was long. Yeah. It was nice. You didn't have to drive up and then turn around and go, oh, hell no. You know, you could find out
Well,
online.
and did they have drive-up voting as well?
For people that were disabled, you could
Yeah.
drive up with your, or if you had gotten an actual, you know, absentee ballot, you could just drive up and they would take it.
Well, apparently here it was no excuse.
And for the no
voting.
excuse, you stood in line. Yeah.
But it was,
Mhm.
So
had
you
to- it
don't
was like
have
an
mail,
hour-long car line.
you don't
Or-
have mail voting in Missouri?
Have
Don't have
what?
what?
No,
Vote by mail?
Ballots. No.
no.
Don't have what?
Mail
Mail-in.
Mail-in.
ballots.
Oh,
California.
we
does.
have the conventional absentee in Kansas. They have advance voting by mail.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Washington State is all vote by mail.
Yeah, and it has been for
Ah.
years, right?
Florida,
we
as
could
long
do
as I've
that.
been here, it's vote by mail.
How is the Missouri abortion thing going?
It's gonna pass. I think it's gonna pass pretty comfortably. There's a
Good.
poll out that shows that the no vote has been tightening up some, but elections always tighten at the end. So I think it'll pass comfortably. The problem is that
Missouri's
the Republican legislature is immediately going to try to tie it up in court. Yeah, it's going to be tied up in court for a while.
Yeah, every time there's a constitutional amendment that's passed by the people, the Republican legislature tries to kick it in the ass.
And then all of the Supreme Court justices they've put in there basically, you know, jump on
Yeah.
board.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Jeez.
How many times have we said, you know, that, you know, puppy mills should be outlawed? And nope. No matter how strong of a vote, they don't give a shit what the electorate
People
wants.
want, I know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mahoney, you working all day tomorrow?
Not working all day, but I'm going to go in from the afternoon and I'll be there through whenever the numbers stop here in Missouri. The really big two things for those of you who are not in Missouri. Republicans are going to sweep all the statewide races. It's sports gambling, which is Amendment 2 here, and the abortion amendment, which is constitutional, Amendment 3. Those are the big ones. There's also one to authorize a casino at the Lake of the Ozarks, which is a big tourism spot in Missouri. There's another proposition on the ballot, raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour over 2 years, and then tying it to the consumer price index. And then and then we've got a piece of eye candy from the Republicans.
Oh, yeah.
To
Something that's already in the Constitution, but let's make it a constitutional amendment.
Yeah. But the thing that's kind of buried in there is it would also ban ranked choice voting.
It's ranked choice voting is
Yeah.
what they're trying to hide.
Exactly.
Right.
That's 7, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's a no vote,
Yeah.
but it doesn't read that way.
No.
So, you know,
And all the dumbasses are, oh yeah, that's right. We shouldn't let those people vote. We already don't let those people vote, but you're too fucking stupid to
Yeah,
realize.
yep.
I'm sorry.
No, I agree.
Stop
It's
dropping
so
those.
frustrating. It's so frustrating.
See,
they
see,
do that at
problem
the
with-
AMA. Go
The
ahead.
problem with ranked choice voting is, and I voted against it, but I fear that we're going to be placed in a situation where it's going to be Mr. Conservative A and Mr. Conservative B in the finals, rather than having two distinct choices between.
How
a
could it
Republican and
not
a
be?
Democrat.
I know, but
Yeah.
the outcomes is still the same in this state.
Yeah.
That's
We're
true.
going to get a Republican.
I'm going to be no on 2.
Yeah, I voted no
Right.
on.
I don't like how it's written. I like the concept. I wanted to do it, but they wouldn't guarantee any amount.
No,
They're just gonna rake it clean before the
That's right.
schools get anything.
when they find a new revenue stream,
Mhm.
they say, well, then they're getting that now. We can take this other away. It
What they
never,
did last time.
Which is
Happens
exactly
over
what,
and over. Happens
education
repeatedly.
never has
exactly
a
what
net
happened.
benefit from that.
that and the other thing is that the the budget in Missouri for elementary and secondary schools is $8 billion. $8 billion. So let's say they get 100 million. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of money, but it's a teardrop on an $8 billion enterprise. So and so I voted no on it, and I don't have any problems with gambling. I don't do it very much, but I don't have any problems with it. But
the issue that I've heard raised about that and has made me give a little second thought to that is the money's already going to Illinois and other states around us that allow that. Why are we letting that money? Similar to the discussion about marijuana.
Right.
But I still don't like the idea. So I think it's no for me too. Yeah.
And then the other thing is there is a huge gap. There's a huge loophole in this thing. The sportsbook companies get to deduct all of their promotional spending.
Okay.
It isn't quantified or limited or
well, it's limited at up to 25%, but no gambling operation in that I'm aware of gets anywhere close to 25% on their promotional spending. It's more in the range of 8 to 10. Okay, so they get to slough all that stuff off as well, and it's possible that because it's happened in some states where the sports books pay no taxes for a specific month because of the promotional deductions. It's happened in Kansas a couple of times.
I mean, this whole thing's put up by FanDuel and
Right.
sports.
So wouldn't it have been funny if they had asked Laura Linney to stomp for the casino in the Ozarks?
Oh,
Perfect.
that'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
There's supposed to be 2 casinos there, but they outdid there's an Indian one that doesn't need the same approval, I don't think.
Right, because it's on federal land.
Yeah.
Well, they're all Indians around here, all the casinos.
Yeah. Well, here the state allows 13,
Something like that, 12 or 13.
but they have to be allegedly in or near in.
Well,
it was written so that it would only be in Kansas City and St. Louis primarily. There's 2 others that touch the Mississippi River in northern Missouri and southern Missouri.
They have to be on the river.
Yeah.
well, they've done away with that
did.
statutorily.
Now, are these casinos full casinos? I mean, do they have table games and all and sports book and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're run by
Harris and
Harris and
Ameristar.
Promise and some big dogs in the gaming industry. So they're table games, slots, dice, all sorts of cards.
And live, not electronic.
Right.
See, what happens here is they've opened up they're it's gambling. They're little, they're all just slot machines. It's just these little places that might have, I'm gonna guess, maybe 50 slot machines, maybe. And they're opening up. There are these little neighborhood kind of places that are opening up. I did go in and see, and I happened to win some money, which I'll probably be going back now. But prior to that, I was like, well, I just wanted to see what it was all about. But I was telling my sister about it, so we went into the place, and she sat right next to me, and she won $900 and I won $1,000.
Oh my God.
That's not too shabby.
All right, see you later.
Of course, now they got me.
So you told a few more friends and they came with you. And
No more book club or movie.
1-800 help me.
Gambling club.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Variable ratio reinforcement, and it works like nobody's business. It's why they have to change the carpets out on the slot machine floors, because people will stand there and pee rather than give up their machine.
Are
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
serious?
yeah.
I am
Oh,
deadly
man.
serious.
Okay,
Variable
you know,
ratio reinforcement works.
Karen, if you get a call from me from the casino,
Or they wear adult diapers and the whole place smells like piss.
oh my
Why don't,
Because
God.
they're
you just
not
put
gonna
a
give up their
drain under
machine.
each seat?
No, they're waiting for that payoff. And yeah, if I walk away, somebody else is gonna get my payoff.
But
Oh,
built
that's
in
My
gross.
room.
God.
I don't get it.
You don't think Donna's going back to the same machine, do you?
It happens.
Of course she is.
Of course.
Well, guys,
Well,
it
I
is
gotta go
after
watch the
8.
Chiefs.
I am out of here.
It's
Yeah.
time
Yeah,
to watch
okay.
the
Bye,
game.
you guys.
Bye.
Okay, big
Bye.
film next week.
All
Good-
right, see you next
Good
week.
movies.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
I'm trying to leave.